My name is Brian Monk Taylor. People call me Monk. And I am an artist, tattoo artist, and owner here at Infinite Art in Toledo, Ohio for the past 23 years. We've been open since 1994. This is something that's been a lifelong journey for me. Because when I started getting tattoos, not a whole lot of people, you know, in the late 80s, not a whole lot of people had tattoos. Tattoos were relegated to, and when I first got them, people were like, oh, did you get that in the joint? Did you get tattooed when you were like, no, I've never been to prison. Well, I didn't actually set out to be a tattooer for a living. Tattoos always have been in the background, but I didn't think of it as like a living, you know. To me, that was kind of like dreaming. You know, it's like, well, yeah, you can tattoo or do artwork, but you gotta do something to make money. So I didn't specifically set out to tattoo as a living until I was going to college. It was there I learned what my interests were. You know, I was like, oh yeah, I like art. You know, I was going for a BFA, but I also liked anthropology and the Japanese language and the culture. I was tattooing at the time just to make a couple extra bucks while I was going to college, and feeling overwhelmed by my sophomore year, I was like, I need to quit for a while. I'm just going to tattoo and pay off my student loans. And I worked for a while, then I got offered one of my friends to open my own place, and I opened this place in '94, and then just never went back to college. And then it's just grown every year since then, and now here I am 23 years later.
I've always liked the idea of tattoos. When I was growing up, my dad had tattoos, so it was just kind of like a normal thing in my family. My mom finally got one when I was like 12 or something, and then I had like always just known that I wanted to get tattoos.
I mean, ever since I can remember, I wanted to have a tattoo. My brother had tattoos, he was in the Marines. It was just something, I don't know, some kind of primal instinct, like, oh, I want to have a tattoo. Ever since I was like 13, 14 years old.
I got my first tattoo when I was 16. I went with my parents. They let me get one tattoo that was what we agreed upon until I was 18. And that was what started my addiction to tattoos. I was hooked with the first one. And then when I was 18, I got over 20, 25 tattoos.
I don't have to sell this stuff sells itself. You know, it's like, I need to be back, you know, and the old adage goes, it's a mile to your first tattoo and a minute to your second. I've always been a tattoo collector. Maybe it was just a way of taking control of something when you don't really have control over anything. Always loving art, wearing a piece of it on my body forever. It seemed like a natural progression. When I choose to get tattooed, I definitely go by the artist. It's like there are people that I like, that I can connect with, you know, both artistically and mentally. It has to be somebody that's a cool person. It's an organic kind of like ritual in finding somebody like that.
When I first started getting tattoos, it was a lot more of a thought out process rather than just like, oh, why not? Now it's like really spontaneous because I work in a tattoo shop, and so I'll be sitting at work and I'll like see something cool and I'm like, ooh, I want this, and then one of the guys will be like, okay, let's go, and like we'll go tattoo it. Or like they'll draw really cool things and I'll be like, put this on my body, and they're like, okay, cool. Like right now, my one friend, he's working on like a cat. He was painting it one day like in watercolor, and he like showed it to me, and I was like, I want that on my body, like can I have it? And he was like, yeah, for sure. So that's gonna be my next one.
Coming in and feeling, you know, very confident and asking for what they wanted, like, oh, I want a custom tattoo. Like, oh, you want a custom tattoo? That was something that was fairly new. You know, most of the stuff was flash, which is the pre-drawn designs that were on the walls. You know, people were like, oh, I want that one, or I want this one. You know, back when I first started tattooing in the early 90s, there was a lot of that stuff going on. And then it's really just evolved into every tattoo is just a one-of-a-kind piece anymore.
I just realized I needed to make sure that what I was getting, I would never stop believing in. So I put a lot of thought in my tattoos. I think about what I want first, and then once I get that solidified, I just look at my body and see where I could fit it, the size I want, and then depending on where it's going to be placed, if there's other elements around it, I'll start thinking of background shading ideas. I go very in depth about where they're placed or what I'm getting. Your body's a blank canvas to fill with art, so why not make it good?
One of the more recent ones that I got, this geometric piece on my shoulder, and one of my really good friends, Adam, had posted a picture on Facebook of like this drawing that he did, and immediately I saw it and I was like, put this on my body. Like, this is so cool. Like, I want like your original artwork on me. Like, this is amazing. He like is so happy with it, and I like love it. It's so cool, and it just like, means so much just because it was like one of my really good friends and it was his art.
My favorite tattoo is two tattoos that I have on my thumb bones. It says Manifest Destiny. The two words like mean a lot because it can be taken in many ways. I take it as like you can manifest your life into whatever you think you can be. So like when they were little, they told you like you could be whatever you want in life. So I just have these, so every time I look down at my hands, I have a reminder that I could be whatever I want to be in my life. I could do whatever I want. It just starts with me. So.
The feathers that I have on my arm means the most to me. There's 3 of them, and feathers are a sign of a journey. I have 3 siblings. Wanted to represent like the way that we grew up, and your family's all you've got. I think each of my tattoos has like a different meaning or a different like significance, I guess. For a while it was all very thought out for a very long time as to what I was going to get and why and like what it meant. Having them is a really good way to tell other people who you are without actually having to have those conversations, and people can see them and know that like, I don't know, someone can have a basketball tattooed on them or something and you know that they like basketball, or like you see quotes on people and it just like peeks into their lives a little bit. I think that's something that's super raw about humans, that like we give ourselves away a little bit with like everything that we do, like the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we like hold ourselves, and I think tattoos are a really big thing with that. It's a permanent way to tell someone who you are.
My name's Cameron Richmond.
I'm Sammy.
My name is Brian.
And I love tattoos.